Before attending an interview, it's important to prepare. However, if you do not prepare effectively, you may end up wasting a lot of time. We all know that during an interview, you will be asked a series of questions. If you can prepare for some or all these questions in advance, it will significantly increase your chance of being successful. Then how do you do this? Step number 1. Read the job description. Let's take a look at the job description of NatWest's Capital Markets Graduate Program. On the job description, it says they would like candidates to demonstrate strong communication and presentation skills, the ability to balance a variety of tasks in a fast-paced environment, excellent interpersonal skills and the ability to work well as a part of a team, the ability to work to tight deadlines with a high degree of accuracy. Based on this information, we can roughly predict that they may ask the following questions. Once you have written down the possible questions based on the job description, you then should check the company's website. Many companies have a careers section on their website. You can find them either at the top of the page or at the bottom. Sometimes they can be hidden, so look carefully. Once you have found it, you may be able to find texts where it says, "What do we look for?" You can then use the same technique that you used in step 1 to come up with some possible questions. Also, you can read about the company's value. Some companies ask questions that can assess whether you have similar values or not. For example, if a company says, "We value client relationships," they may then ask you questions related to customer service or relationship management. Another step you can take to come up with some possible questions is understanding the nature of the role. Is it a client-facing role or internally focused? If it is a client-facing role, they may ask you how you deal with an angry customer, or how do you ensure that you provide a good quality service to a client? Is it a team-oriented role, or you can complete your day-to-day tasks independently? If it is a team-oriented role, which is most often the case, they may ask you about teamwork or collaboration. You also need to think about whether it is a technology or engineering related role. If it is a tech related role, you may get asked some questions around technology and go through a coding test. If it is a data focused, you may be asked questions to understand your data processing and analyzing skills. In summary, it's important to understand the nature of the role from different angles so that you can come up with a more comprehensive question list. The next thing to add to your list is motivation questions. Almost all companies ask motivation questions at some stage, and we will learn about how to answer them in a later chapter. Having considered all aspects, we now roughly came up with the following questions for the NatWest's interview. In addition to what you have come up with yourself, you may be able to find some additional questions that other candidates were asked in the real interview. The first thing you need to check is Glassdoor. On Glassdoor, people often share their interview experience and sometimes the questions they were asked. To find them, you first need to go to Glassdoor's UK website, which is glassdoor.co.uk. Register an account if you have not done so, and then search for the company that you are applying for. Under each company, usually there is a tab for interviews. When you click the tab, you will be able to read about what others have experienced during their interview or assessment center. You can then start gathering some possible questions based on the position they applied for. Another place to look at is the student room. This is a website for university students where they share information. They also have a careers section where you can find information shared by other people, including their experience and interview questions. Although not common, you may be able to find similar groups where people share their experiences on Facebook too. You can search for it on Facebook's website. By taking the steps mentioned, you may be able to collect some questions and start preparing. I will guide you on how to answer different types of questions in later chapters.